Yeah, welcome to the channel. This is going to be my slash review opinion of Agatha All Along. Episode 3 dropped this afternoon or tonight, wherever you are. It just dropped now, so I watched it. It's not horrible, this episode. It was sort of barely okay. Uh, it's just kind of more of the same. It's very I don't know who this show is written for. I don't know what their thoughts are about it, but it's uh, mildly entertaining. I'll give them that. So at the end of so sorry, just like there's only 9 episodes of this. They have to go through a bunch of trials. They've already killed off the first 2 episodes. The very first episode was totally useless, where they started off with Agatha as a supposed to be a cop on in a cop show. Why they didn't have her end where she was when uh, Wanda Maximoff put her under the spell is beyond me. They had to do this other episode, I think, to show people how clever they are. But that episode didn't work. The second episode was marginally better, and this episode just is. I mean, it's a part of the chain to go forward. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't great. Um, it looks good. They're still doing pretty good with the appearance of the show. So this area here that you see, this is the road that they at the end of episode 2 managed to escape onto this road. They have to follow it. There will be trials um, along the way. The whole purpose of them being on the road is Agatha wants to get her powers back. That's not a good thing. I mean, she's she's at least a bad person, if not evil. She has caused people's death, pain, suffering. She killed off the previous members of her covenant, which these witches are supposedly aware of, but they still are going with them because they've all lost something that they want to get back power wise. So yeah, it's still like you have to care. Usually you want to show that you have to some liking or interest in or care about uh, some character in the show, and there's absolutely no one that I care about in this show at all, especially not Agatha. I mean, it would do well for the universe if all these people just got wiped out. And you know that that's going to happen along the way. But, anyways, okay, we're into episode 3. They're on the road, they're moving forward. This lady here wanders off the path. Sorry, where is she? There, from the '70s show. And the squeaky voice. She's Sharon, but Agatha can't remember or won't remember her name. But Sharon gets off the path and starts sinking, and they come back after having to pull her out of like a quicksand type thing. Just the whole point of that was don't go off the road. Oh, okay, fine, thank you. But they wander along. The dialogue isn't particularly compelling or good or even interesting, but they're sort of yammering away. Um, Again, I guess Marvel wants to make witchcraft or magic part of their universe or whatever, so they have to make it seem important so that potentially some of these people might be a danger at some point, but they're just annoying mostly. So they see this house, which is a very nice, this nice house. It's at the end of the road. They all go to the house, walk in, and are instantly transformed into probably the target audience for this show, which is a bunch of suburban women. Um, and they look around the house, they like it, and they find a welcome to the trials card on the mantle behind them in this picture. So they have to figure out what to do, and of course, somebody discovers wine. So of course that's the target audience: wine drinking, middle-aged, annoying women, I guess. And Sharon just slugs down a whole bunch of wine, and the rest of them will also have some wine. Everybody but Agatha, because Agatha is scheming and untrustworthy, so she just dumps her wine. And then they go to a spot where uh, all their faces distort, and that's poor. That looks really stupid. The they all look like people on that have had Botox to the max. So maybe they're trying to make a statement about women's vanity and appearance or whatever. But um, the only one that doesn't drink the wine is the boy, and they don't let him because their excuse is he's too young. But Agatha actually tries to stop him a couple of times, so he ultimately doesn't drink it. Why I don't know, but ultimately at the end, there's a plot point where it's good that he didn't or he shouldn't. But so all these women have their faces distorted horribly, and there's a bunch of cheap jokes and things like that about it, all except for Agatha at least the start. And so immediately the potion person, she determines that because a timer appears and starts counting down, that they've been poisoned. Suddenly recognizes that. Okay. Um, and she immediately knows or very quickly figures out what the poison is and what they need. So then um, they have a bunch of names for, like, there's the gut of some type of insect. It's basically honey. And they have something else about a carcass uh, being decaying for years, and somebody figures out, well, gas or petroleum oil. So they spread out around the house to see if they can find the elements that the potion lady wants, and then each one of the women have a hallucination, because that's one of the symptoms of the poisoning, apparently. Um, so the Asian lady dreams about her mom, which is her storyline, that her mother can't save her, and I think she kills it herself. They said earlier on. The This woman who can't even remember. That's how badly yeah, I can't remember what her name is, what she did. But she was like running a palm reading service or something, so she sees some girl and follows her, and then that person um, appears to be dead and whatever. So she comes back and says they're all dead. There, something in Italian. Again, it just like, what? It just doesn't make a lot of sense. So you just kind of let it go by. And then the potion lady, she's some doctor, and he tries to drown her in the sink. Um, Makes zero sense, all this stuff, but they all get back with their stuff. They get past their visions, and they start crafting a solution, a antidote in the kitchen sink. So they get all that, and then it's like, well, it's supposed to be a cauldron. They didn't have a cauldron, so they use the sink. And Smart Kid figures out that if they have a sous vide, which is it's a way of cooking by, like, you take meat or something and you put it in a big pot, and you have this heating element that gets stuck into the water or the pot, and then it's like a sort of a cooks it slowly at a it basically brings the temperature of the water up to a certain point, and it's enough to cook whatever it is you are cooking. I've seen uh, and heard people talking about it, that they'll take a cut of meat or something and put it in a Ziploc bag, and then put it in a pot, and then stick one of these sous vide heating elements in, and it basically, you have to cook it over. It brings the water up to a certain temperature, and then you cook it for like 8 hours or 12 hours or something. It's almost like a crock pot. But anyways, he just plugs it in, and poof, that amazingly makes the water supposedly boil in their cauldron. So they also, just before that, have discovered that Agatha did not drink the wine, and they sort of force her to drink the wine, and then she goes through the same thing with her face. But her flashback is that she hears a baby crying, and apparently they mention at the start of the episode that she traded her baby for that book that, again, back to, oh, you had to watch WandaVision, but some magical book that Wanda Maximoff ends up with. So she apparently traded her baby for that book that she had at one point. Again, if you didn't watch Wanda, you won't know what the hell they're referring to or anything. So, you know, guess what? You're gonna have to watch WandaVision if you want to understand a lot of that stuff. But they are doing the potion, and it's not the right color. And then potion lady figures out they have to have hair, so they all have to pull out a strand of the hair to throw in. And Agatha comes back from her vision and throws her hair in. It's still not the right color, and then it's, oh yeah, we need the blood of someone who has not partaken of the wine. So that's the reason that the kid didn't drink earlier. Got to have the script make sense, sort of. Uh, Anyways, they get his blood. It turns the right color. They all have a drink, and the timer doesn't stop because this lady here was unconscious. She succumbed to the poison first, so they have to force feed her some. And then Agatha had smashed the window because there's no door handles in the house. Smashed the window in the living room like a patio door because she wanted to get out. She didn't smash it all the way, but she created a hole, and they're surrounded by water, salt water. Again, why? I have no idea, but the water starts coming in and they have to escape. So a convenient oven door opens, and they go on a slip and slide through the oven and down back to where they originally were in the show. So they come back here, and that's the first trial done. The only problem is that poor old Sharon is dead because she didn't. The timer expired before she got enough of the potion or antidote to counteract the potion, and that's it. So, okay. Um, what do I think of the episode? It's not horrible. It's just okay. It's not good or great. The acting is pretty poor in most of it. The writing is pretty poor in most of it. Um, the best thing to say about it is it looks good. Um, yeah, you they look good in characters and whatever. The makeup when they all have puppy faces is horrible. It's juvenile. It's really stupid. Um, I'm told that there's supposed to be all these things that I'm picking up watching this episode, but I can't be bothered. I don't. You have to know more of the history. So, anyways, there 3 of the 9 episodes are done, and they've done one trial. So I'm assuming that each episode, each week, will be another trial they go through, and they'll probably end up knocking off a character each and every time until it's only Agatha and the boy probably left. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but that's what I'm assuming. So one down, and 1, 2, 3 more to go. So they're back on the witch's road, and they'll be going to something else for the next trial next week. Do you need to see this episode? Not really. You can actually skip until maybe the last 2 episodes where you get some kind of conclusion to it, because uh, seeing this episode, there's nothing in it of any interest, really, other than you see that Agatha at one point traded her child for a magic book. So that's it. Um, yeah, I'm gonna keep watching it. It's I don't know if I'm torturing myself or not, but it's of enough interest that I'm kind of interested, at least going another episode to episode 4 to see what's going on next week. But yeah, I mean, you're going to at some point. There's Audrey Plaza's character appears on the road by the looks of it, and notice that whereas the other witches were down to this person. Um, but there's one episode picture here where they're all like in 70s stuff there. So that episode is coming. Again, there's Audrey Plaza's here for some reason. Um, all the characters are here. So I'm thinking maybe this is going to be episode 4. I'm not sure. Um, I'm not sure what's going on in this show, but yeah, it's it's a time waster, a decent enough time waster. So that's my thoughts. See what you think of it when you see it. Okay, thanks.